Tonight on Children's Hospital, 11-year-old Freya faces her 4th operation.
I'm quite excited because hopefully it's going to be my last one.
Will nurses manage to get 4-year-old CJ's stitches out?
Come here.
No.
An 18-month-old Oliver is rushed into the hospital with a nasty burn. In the heart of the city lies the new Royal Manchester Children's Hospital, one of the biggest and most up-to-date hospitals for children in the country. Its state-of-the-art equipment provides patients with some of the best healthcare facilities in the world, while its medical team of 1,000 work tirelessly to change the lives of children when they need it most. "11-year-old Freya is at the hospital today with her mum and sister for a final checkup before a big operation tomorrow.
Right, Mum. Ready? Yeah, go up here.
It will be Freya's 4th time in surgery after being born with a cleft lip and palate, a condition where the baby's lips, jaw and roof of the mouth don't grow together properly in the mother's womb.
Right, now we have to do that all again.
Surgeons repaired the gap in Freya's lip and palate when she was a baby, but she still had to overcome many challenges over the years.
It's affected her appearance, her speech, her feeding, her hearing, and obviously her emotional development as well.
You're winning by a mile. At school, it made me feel upset because this boy kept asking me, why do you have a hole in the roof of your mouth? Why do you have like a great big scar on your lip and things like that? It made me feel like different from like all the other people in my class. I won.
Okay, Freya. Want to come through?
Orthodontist Professor Bill Shaw is part of a 24-strong team of cleft lip and palate specialists who've treated Freya since she was a baby.
Is that okay with you if I bring you back and take a look at your famous teeth?
Freya still has a large gap in her jaw, which tomorrow surgeons will fill with bone taken from her hip. Without this operation, her adult teeth won't grow properly.
You can see on your x-ray there's a lot of new teeth queuing up, waiting to come through. These are the baby ones that will fall out over the next couple of years. This was the area where the original cleft was, and that little dark area there is an area where there should have been bone, but there wasn't any. And if we didn't have the bone graft, then the teeth that are queuing up there to come down, like those ones here, they would go into the wrong place and we might just have to take them out. So the idea of the bone graft is to let the new teeth come through, then we'll straighten them up with the brace and nobody will see the join. They'll look really nice. It'll be a very nice smile. Okay?
Yeah.
And you've kept your teeth very clean, so you're the champion of the week. Well done, top of the class. You can go.
Thanks.
Very few people would know what the child with a cleft actually goes through. She's really had a lot of hospital visits, a lot of visits to local clinics, and this will be her 4th operation. And you know, these are not trivial operations.
Freya has mixed feelings about her operation.
I'm feeling nervous, but quite excited because hopefully it's going to be my last one.
Her hope of a life without more surgery now rests on the success of tomorrow's operation. Staff at the Children's Hospital see around 10 dog bite wounds a month, some of them more serious than others. A week ago, 4-year-old CJ was bitten by his grand's dog.
Oh, you're so brave.
The dog was put down the next day, but the bite left a nasty wound on CJ's face and he needed surgery to repair it. He's back today to have his stitches out. Having stitches out when you're 4 is scary, and when it's from the tender skin on your face, can be painful.
Sweetheart, I can't stay in
CJ's understandably having none of it, so Dad tries to negotiate a truce.
You've got to come out.
No!
Come here.
No!
Come here.
No!
Come here.
No!
Defeated, Dad sends for reinforcements in the shape of Mum.
You're going to have them out. He's not going to do it.
We're going to have to come back then, son.
Come on, it's okay.
Put you to sleep.
CJ's turning out to be a tough cookie, and Mum and Dad are kicking themselves they let the dog anywhere near him.
It's hard to put into words, I think, the heartache it's caused and the pain it's caused. Not just for him, but for everyone else, I think, as well.
CJ's winning the battle of wills, so there's only one thing for it. The hospital's secret weapon, play specialist Gill.
I'm hoping you're good at finding things in books, because we've got a dog that's lost.
Gill Bailey's spent 23 years coming up with clever ways to distract kids. But can she win CJ over?
Come on, let's see if we can get this done. Then you can go home, honestly.
So where's Hector on this picture? Oh, you're just too good. Right, can you find an alien?
Up a bit. Oh, there he is. Look at the size of his ears.
Jill's magic starts to work.
Really still. Okay, that was really good. There's the cannon. Can you find the pink elephant?
That's it. Try not to speak.
Good boy.
Excellent. Well done. What a champ. Absolutely brilliant. Well done.
They've a right to get upset if they want to get upset. It's like a control for them so that they can get rid of their emotions. And it's better that they actually cry and scream and shout than have a tantrum on the way back to the supermarket or whatever.
One of those. Thank you for being such a good boy and for keeping so still. That's all right, my pleasure. Really, really good.
Free of stitches and the force with him, CJ's a satisfied customer. In 2 hours' time, 11-year-old Freya will have an operation to repair a large gap in her jawbone. It's her 4th operation since being born with a cleft lip and palate, a condition that affects 1 in 600 children in the UK.
Or another 2. Before the operation, it's really nervous and things, and you can't eat. You're so nervous that sometimes, like, if you have a good book, you can't really concentrate on it.
But so far, Freya's doing a great job of pushing her worries to the back of her mind with the help of her mum and dad.
I think it's stopping Freya from thinking about an operation because this is a game that Freya's never played before.
It does help to pass the time quite a bit. It's really fun.
Freya's surgeon, Moira Morton, has been helping children with cleft lip and palates for over 20 years.
Children do need to know what they're having done and to be part of it. Well, that's my belief about it. So I never hide what we're going to do. It gives them a sense of being involved and being in control, and that these operations are not being done to them.
Today, Ms Morton will fill the gap in Freya's jaw with bone from another part of her body.
Go on then. Where's the bone coming from?
Hip.
Which side do you want? You thought about it?
Left.
Which side do you sleep on?
When I wake
You tend to be on that side. Yeah, she lies on her right, doesn't she?
So that would be good to do the left side then, because sometimes it's just a little bit sore on that bony bit of your hip, and if you're comfortable lying on the right, then you won't want to lie on the sore side. So we'll do the left side, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just going to take out about a spoonful, and then we're going to put it up there.
Yeah.
You'll have some stitches up there, which will dissolve on their own.
Yeah.
All right? So you don't have to worry about any stitches coming out.
Yeah, that's the bit I was worried about.
You were worried.
Well,
now you know. So that's that bit of paper that's yours. Freya seems amazingly well adjusted, and she seems quite happy with it and doesn't seem to have had any concerns. But it can't be easy going into hospital and having an operation. I think most people would have some concerns about it.
With the operation just moments away, Freya can't put on a brave face any longer.
Are you just scared? I'll stay with you all the time until you're asleep, okay? And as soon as you wake up, I'll be rushing down to see you, okay? You alright? Okay? You ready to go?
I think it'll be easy when they're older, but in some ways it's harder because they understand more.
Coming up, a designer plaster cast is the only thing on 12-year-old Victoria's mind.
Can I have some, like, the hot pink?
And will Freya's operation be a success? At Royal Manchester Children's Hospital's A&E department, an ambulance arrives carrying a toddler who's burnt himself with boiling water. Staff move fast to give 18-month-old Oliver painkillers.
He's a good boy.
Domestic burns are common, but can cause permanent damage. Oliver's knocked over a cup of tea, spilling the contents on his cheek and the right side of his body.
I was literally sat in the living room, Nana was bringing cups of tea in and out, and Oliver had grabbed the cup off the side, and I just heard this splash, and I just phoned the ambulance straight away. I just put cold water on him straight away. What's that noise?
Now that the painkillers have calmed Oliver, Dr. Natalie May can examine his arm.
Have a look at your poorly arm. Yeah.
It's only her second day in paediatric A&E.
Have a little look.
But she's got plenty of experience working with children and burns.
Come Mummy out. Good boy. Mummy, take this off. It's quite difficult to assess in the first place because children are always upset by the pain because it's really sore, and they always look upset no matter whether it's a serious burn or not. So we've got no problem even seeing somebody with a tiny little scald. If they're really upset, we'll quite happily give them some pain relief and then assess it objectively later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that arm and then
the side of your face.
When the bandages are off, it's clear that Oliver's had a lucky escape. The tea hasn't caused any permanent damage.
What are you after? Oh, is it a toy? Well, you want to use that arm, happily enough. Is that good, Oliver? Yeah. You want the book? As long as he's all right in half an hour's time, then we'll let him go home with the burns clinic contact number if they've got any worries, and they can arrange to come back and see him. Otherwise, there'd be no follow-up, just painkillers at home and make sure he doesn't come into contact with any more tea. Whee! Hey, wow.
11-year-old Freya is about to have surgery to repair a large gap in her jawbone. If it goes well, it could be the last in a series of operations she's had to correct the cleft lip and palate she was born with. The condition means part of her lip, jaw and the roof of her mouth didn't join together properly while she was growing in her mother's womb.
This will hopefully be like the last operation, really. I'm quite excited about that.
I need you to take your dressing gown off before you sit down and make yourself comfortable.
Consultant anaesthetist Mandy Griffiths knows how traumatic general anaesthetics can be for children and their parents.
Are you all right about this?
Sure.
Take some nice deep breaths, sweetheart. Look for something nice.
Just really hard to see her being so scared and trying to reassure her.
It's all finished, sweetheart. It's done. It's all done.
It's all done.
Okay. Really brave.
You know, you just have to hand her over to people who you only met an hour ago, you know, to look after them. It's just totally against your sort of instinct as a parent, really.
So what's your favourite thing to do?
Reading.
Reading?
You love Harry Potter, don't you?
I
You
like
have to have
Potter. Do you know what? I would love to have a broomstick like his.
Oh,
How cool would that be to fly?
Love you, darling.
The hardest thing is just leaving her and walking away.
During the operation, surgeon Moira Morton will use a piece of Freya's hip bone to fill the gap known as the cleft in her upper jaw.
Up in this area here is where the cleft is, so this blacky area represents the space of the cleft. And we'll put a little bit of bone into it so that when it's healed, the upper jaw will then be in one piece. And that enables the teeth to erupt through and be straightened up with braces. Okay, I'm going to take the bone out now. The hip will be a bit sore, but they really get back to full action very quickly. There's no deformity of the hip continues to grow. It's a nice bone with lots of cells and blood in it, so really good for a graft.
Although the surgery is relatively straightforward, an hour into the operation, there's a complication.
She's got a hole in the nasal swab.
Miss Morton discovers a large hole between Freya's nose and the roof of her mouth.
Now, that's quite difficult closing it from here, but we'll have a go.
She now has the tricky job of sewing it up to prevent the new bone from becoming infected.
The access is very poor. You're trying to turn this needle up a very small hole. So that's one stitch in. So that's a move in the right direction. Oh, I've damaged the needle. Can I have another suture, please?
The hole is sewn up and the gap in Freya's jaw filled with pieces of her hip bone. But Freya is still at risk of infection.
I think it went pretty well. I always worry slightly about the ones that have a hole into the nose because there's a risk of infection coming into the bone graft.
It will be at least 2 weeks before Freya knows whether her operation has been a success and whether it will be her last. Downstairs in A&E, consultant Rachel Jenner is on shift. She's a specialist in children's emergency medicine and has seen her fair share of playground accidents. 12-year-old Victoria's banged her wrist.
What's happened to you? Well, I was in school, PE was the last lesson, and my arm slammed against the wall.
Okay, right, can I have a look?
Okay.
Can you feel me touching them?
Yes.
It looks like it might be broken, so we need to get an X-ray, okay, to see if it is broken and to see what the damage is.
Victoria is taken to X-ray. The results are sent through to the doctors almost immediately.
Yeah.
Now Dr. Jenner can see if her suspicions about the wrist are correct.
So there's a fracture here. See a line through here? You can see on this side you can see a bump running through there. You can see it much more clearly on here. There's an angulation here. And because children's bones are quite soft compared with adults, they tend to get this sort of fracture rather than snapping cleanly through. The bones often buckle or bend. Hey, did they tell you the news? That your wrist is broken.
Yay!
Is that good news?
Yeah.
The bones are bent out of place a little bit, but I think they should heal up okay. What we need to do is put you in plaster.
Can I have some, like, hot pink?
Not today. We're just going to put a white one on.
Victoria will have to wear a cast for the next 5 weeks. Nurse Mike Mingo is the department's master plasterer.
So what we're going to do now is going to put the back slab to hug your arm in place. So, okay,
like
just
this.
hold still for me, yeah?
You have to be quick. Same way.
This is only half a plaster. Yeah, it's what we call a back slab, okay?
Half a plaster?
Yeah, so it gives it room to swell. And then after a few days you'll come back and have a full plaster. So you can have a pink plaster. Yeah?
That is true.
And just let the sling take the weight. All right. How does that feel?
Unhappy.
You've done very well there.
Two weeks ago, 11-year-old Freya had surgery to mend a large gap in her upper jaw. It's the 4th operation she's had after being born with a cleft lip and palate. Today, she's come back to see her surgeon, Moira Morton, to find out whether the operation has been a success.
The worst thing that she could say to me is probably that I'll have to have it done again because something's gone wrong. I would like to ask her as well if it's going to be my last operation, because it'll be nice if it is. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to
I'm not going to tweak those stitches for you, they'll do their own thing. So you've got that little bit of red gum there, that'll soon settle down.
Yeah.
Otherwise it looks pretty good. Gum's tightening up. There's just no sign of infection or anything. You've not got any nasty smell in your nose or anything like that?
Nope.
No discharge or anything from the nose. Well, it looks super. We just need to wait for that gum to firm up, and the rest of those stitches will drop out soon.
Will I have to have any more surgery like on the mouth or anything?
This is the last of the things that you really have to have.
Yeah.
All the rest of the things that you might have as you grow older are things that you could choose whether you have or you don't have.
Yeah.
All right. You might say, well, I'd like something done about my jaw, or I'd like something done about my nose.
Yeah.
And they'd be something you choose to have done.
I'm happy.
You're happy?
Yeah.
It's fantastic news. It means Freya and her family are now free to enjoy their lives without the worry of more surgery.
How high are we?
Very.
It's nice to know that it's my last one and all the others that I could have like my choice, and it's nice to know that I can choose if I want them.
From now on, any future operation to remodel Freya's face will be her choice and her choice alone.